Hello everyone. In today's video we are going to be working on week 3 of our National Quilter Circle free quilt along. So this week we are going to make 30 V blocks. Alright, so let's get started. Alright everyone, so let's gather all of the items we need to make our block this week. We're going to need our fabrics. You need your colored fabric, and then you'll need your background fabrics. You'll need to print out this week's challenge block instructions, and then you will need your templates. Now in the first week, she did send out an attachment, a PDF of the templates that you can cut out to use to cut out the shapes for this week's block. Or you can use the rulers like I have. I got this off Amazon, and it's called Trikes triangle rulers, and it's a set of 2, and I will be using these rulers today in the video to cut out our blocks. All right, it's very simple. Okay, so now we're ready to start cutting out our fabrics. So let's get our tools that we'll need. I'm using the Rex tool, which is the triangle rulers from Amazon. Or you could use the templates that were in the PDF. Cut them out and then place them on the fabric and then cut around them. All right, so let's look at our background fabric. We're going to cut our fabric into 4.5-inch strips. So with this small Rex tool, we're going to place it at the 4.5-inch line, and we are going to then cut out our half triangles. So we're going to cut 30 in one direction and 30 on the other direction. So you're just going to flip it over. Or you could just put your fabric wrong sides together, so it's 2 layers, and then just cut it out, and then when you get the piece, it'll have both sides, the right and the left. Right. And then in our colored fabrics, we're just going to take the triangle ruler or the triangle paper template. You'll put it at the 4.5-inch line, place it on the 4.5-inch scrap fabric, and cut out triangles. You'll need 30 of these triangles. Also, in your colored fabric, you will need to cut 25 4.5-inch squares, and you'll just set those aside, all right? All right, so as you can see, I have all of the pieces for our 30 V blocks cut and ready. And then I also have our 4.5-inch squares that are of the colored fabric. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to start piecing our block together. Now we're going to assemble our V block. So we need to gather our things and get them ready. So we need the left and the right of our background fabric, and then we will need the center triangle, which is our colored fabrics. So I just lay out all of my fabrics in a stack, and then I take it to the sewing machine and I start putting one side on. I chain piece like all of the right, and then chain piece all of the left. All right, guys, so that's it. Week 3 is a very simple block to make. We're just going to make 30 of these blocks. They're called the V block. All right, and they should finish at 4.5 inches square when you're done. Really, really easy and really fun to make. I love this quilt because I get to use up a bunch of scraps. So you can also go to the National Quilter Circle Facebook group and page, or you could also go to their website, the National Quilterscircle.com. All right, so I'll see you next week for week 4. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe to Grandma's channel. Like and subscribe to Grandma's channel.